How's it going, everybody? It's your boy Jose, aka TheNYCGeek, aka TNG, aka your Elden Lord, especially as always on Mondays, aka the guy who is here for you with another Geek Pulse. As I just touched on a few things that happened last week, there wasn't much really that honestly happened. But the first topic that I do want to talk about this week is Activision Blizzard and their continued decline, and it really puts into perspective how far the mighty have fallen. And you have to honestly. You really do have to put into perspective, because Blizzard had been a strong part of the foundation of gaming for a long time. And with Activision, with Call of Duty, like those aren't like small names, you know? And there were these, Blizzard especially were the kings of gaming. Never can you put aside the massive cultural impact that World of Warcraft had, not just on gaming, but really in culture, period. And if you like fast forward that now to, you know, where they are at this point, they're losing millions upon millions of players. And, you know, according to this article from IGN and other sources, you know, this is from their latest earning results. And I love that there's an Elden Ring clip right there. Damn right. It's like they were like, Jose, look, we know you're here. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Thanks, guys. But, you know, they've lost from their monthly active users, 372 million at the end of March 2022 to 361 million at the end of June. That's 11 million right there. Okay. And then when you compare that to last year at June 30th, they dropped down. They were at 408 million to that 11 something. That means in the span of a year, they have lost 47 million players. Okay, that's nearly 10% of that active player base. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad, considering that Blizzard had just released Diablo Immortal, or honestly Immoral, which is the better phrase for it. And you've got, yes, it made money with the whales that are there, but you know, it's not going to be a prolonged success. It's like a flame that just burned brightly and it's going to fizzle out. You know, you've got a barely cared about sequel for Overwatch on the horizon, because let's face it, the buzz for Overwatch 2 is practically non-existent, especially in comparison to how hyped Overwatch 1 was. Remember when Overwatch 1 came out? Everybody was talking about it. People were cosplaying. And I'm sure there will be people who, you know, cosplay here and there for Overwatch 2, but it's not going to have it. Heroes of the Storm is basically dead. You know, I don't know what StarCraft is. It's just... I know that people say, well, maybe Diablo 4 could help bring back some of the buzz, but I don't really know if there is. And of course, the biggest gem in Blizzard's crown was World of Warcraft. And World of Warcraft long fell from the top of the MMO market to Final Fantasy 14, which is a vastly superior product. Look, I have my complaints with Square Enix, but you got to give them credit where credit is due. And when it comes to Final Fantasy 14, that is just up here. And World of Warcraft is like maybe here, maybe here. Probably, yeah. I'll give it to there. You know, they are like right now, Final Fantasy 14 is living, you know, they're in God mode. Their greatness on a different level. And, Blizzard is falling apart. This is a company that's not doing well. It's not doing well. They've been mired in several controversies. And honestly, this decline, it's deserved. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. And I know some people might say, oh, you shouldn't celebrate when, you know, bad things happen when bad things happen. And I'm like, yes, actually, you're naive. I tell those people. And yes, you should celebrate that, because this company is a bad company. Okay. I understand that there are people who work there. Obviously, I would say the majority of the people I would hope are people who have, you know, whose hands are clean and they work at Activision Blizzard, and they're generally good people who are suffering under the piece of shit bosses. You know, it fucking blows. But I will always trumpet a loss for them and never celebrate, not for the employees, for Activision Blizzard, and I will never celebrate a victory for Activision Blizzard. I will always trumpet their losses, because not until it is under new management that doesn't treat their employees like garbage, that doesn't sexually harass them or treat them like shit or bypass them just because, doesn't promote them because they might be a woman. Like, these companies are garbage, man. These companies are trash. And I don't fault people who play their products. I always say you can separate some of the products, but I'm glad when I see them, fucking lose cash, because the only way that these companies will change is when they start losing their money. They start losing money. And this is, they need new management from Bobby Kotick downward, because this, they need management that doesn't treat their employees like garbage, management that doesn't kowtow to foreign pressure and apply censorship to their player base. Don't forget the, that Hearthstone controversy that happened with the Hong Kong player. And this is coming from a formerly major Blizzard fan, okay? I fucking cosplayed Vol'jin from World of Warcraft. I spent God knows how much time in World of Warcraft, but I truly would love to see Activision Blizzard's numbers continue to plummet, because only when their wallets are hurt, that is when change usually happens. And again, hopefully, if Microsoft is able to acquire this, let's hope that they're able to expedite that change. Let's hope that they can make this a more positive place for people to work. And one of the things that they did have in that article was that they are, they are hiring some more developers. So these earnings display, maybe Blizzard will put a focus back on their games. Stop being a piece of shit company, okay? Because it is here. Like, they said that they are hiring, more developers. And, where is it? Right here. They're adding 25% more developers. So that's a good thing. That's a plus. That is a plus. It's just, obviously the employees hopefully are not being as affected by this. And I hope that this fucking hits the top shitheads who are out there like Kotick, and maybe we'll start to see some fucking change, because otherwise we're not. I'm telling you, if you think that you should leave a company to stay, never losing, and that they're gonna fucking change, they're not. They have to suffer loss to really see changes go from the top to the bottom. And that's where it needs to come from. Obviously, it's not from the bottom. It's not your rank and file employees who are the scumbags. It's these fucking people at the top. But that's my thoughts on Activision. I just wanted to mention that because, again, I did love Blizzard, and that is a company that I do keep an eye out on to see what developments happen with them. Second bit of news that has been swirling around that people are talking about. A lot of people have been talking about. Last week, they canceled the $90 million Batgirl movie. $90 million Batgirl movie, which by all accounts, that thing looked like it was going to be terrible. Okay. And I like biblically bad. And I need to make like a little graph, like, like a thermometer, if I was talented in art and stuff like that. But I would make something that's like a scale, and it would say like bad, really bad, terrible, the dumpster fire, and then like biblical levels of bad. And this movie looked like it was going to be like, I don't know, maybe like terrible to dumpster fire. I don't know if it would be biblical levels of bad. Maybe it probably might have been, but it looked like it was going to be terrible. And, first off, the sniping, there was a lot of things that were the writing on the wall for how shitty this was going to be. Okay. The sniping of another redhead character, which I don't know what Hollywood has against redheads. It keeps dawning, like, I keep, trying to remember to mention it, but I'm like, what do they have against redhead characters? They just sniped them off left and right. And I know they casted Leslie Grace, but that was a terrible idea for it. Now, I don't know, I'm not saying her. I don't know her as an actress. Maybe she's a phenomenal actress, but, she's not a redhead. And no, you're not gonna say, oh, she's a fellow Latina. Didn't you want to see her try in that role? No, you will not try to bait me in with lazily swapped characters instead of putting effort into creating original Latino or original Latina characters. Nice try. I'm not gonna sit there clapping you like a walrus when the movie studio is just doing that to be like, checklist. No, you're not. Sorry. Hate to break it to you. Nah, the way that my in-laws say. Okay? But and also that costume looked fucking horrendous. Horrendous. I am sorry, but it's Party City levels of bad. I have gone to a lot of cons. I have. I've gone to several conventions. I will be going to Dragon Con this year. I will do my absolute best to see if I can take a video or a picture of a great fucking Batgirl, because I've seen a million Batgirls, and some of them are like, holy shit, they look like they just came out the pages of the comics. They truly do. I pulled up a comparison here because I want you to see this costume, because it looks so fucking bad. Look at this. Look at this right here. Ready? This is the costume from the movie. Okay? That's the costume from the movie right there. It's just not, like, this looks so lazy. And maybe this is like her origin kind of thing of like, hey, look, this is what she made, what she had available, but it doesn't look good. It's just not bad this is. What the fuck is this? I've seen people walking down the street with something like this, and I'm like, okay, well, that's, winter attire, not as a costume, not as a superhero costume. So important for superheroes to have amazing costumes, and that is not it. And yet when you look at this cosplayer right here. Look at this cosplayer right here. I don't know who this cosplayer is, but look at this costume. Look at this. Look at that design. That is so good. That is so good. And just for $90 million, the best you could get with that previous costume? Absolutely not. It's inexcusable. Inexcusable. It's like they set that actress to fail. They set her up to fail. They truly did. And no. And by the way, another small thing on this, Kevin Smith, you fucking tool. Okay. He's like, it was a great movie for them to cancel. Okay. It was a great move for them to cancel that disastrous movie, I should say. This fucking guy, I know that he recently, I have the article over here on Variety, of course, that he, on his recent video on YouTube, that he said he didn't give a shit if the movie was dog shit or something like that. Hold on, I'll get it right here. I'll get it up for you, because I want you to see exactly what he freaking said. He was saying that, it's an incredibly bad look to cancel the Latina Batgirl movie. I don't give a shit if the movie was absolutely fucking dog shit. I guarantee you that it wasn't. First off, fuck off, Kevin Smith. I wouldn't believe you if you said the fucking sky was blue, which I know it's not technically blue, but it looks blue to our eyes, okay? Like, I don't give a fuck, especially like with what you did with the dog shit Master of Universe show that you put on Light About. Fuck off, Kevin Smith, you fucking corporate shill, okay? But then he sits here and it's like, he's like, I guarantee you that wasn't the two directors that who directed that movie did a couple episodes of Miss Marvel, and it was a wonderful fucking show. Already right now, I'm like, yo, this guy has no idea what the fuck he's talking about, and they had more money to do Batgirl than they had to do an episode of Miss Marvel and stuff. Like, shut up. And this was going to be like fully done film. That's the thing that I know that has taken a lot of people aback and has really shocked them. The fact that this movie was basically done. This movie was basically done, and they were like, we done. No, we're not putting this out. It's gonna be too bad. It's gonna suck too much for us to put this thing out. It's like, holy shit. Like, yeah, and I don't know. I know that DC and Warner Brothers are going through a lot of upheaval. They've even scrubbed the comics part of DC Comics from their URLs, their social handles. Like, it used to be where you would go like DCcomics.com. Nope, not no more. Now it's just DC.com. And, and I know someone that said like, oh, well, DC stands for DC Detective Comics. So, technically if they call it DC Comics, it's Detective Comics, so it never made sense. But that would been their name for a while, and that's what people associated with. So it's weird that they took that off. It's a name associated to them by the masses. Oh, so I don't know if they're just like, look, we're not really a comic book company anymore. And I could tell you sure as fuck aren't, because your product fucking sucks. That's why manga's been kicking your ass. That's why One Piece, baby. Let me point. I'm bad with direction. That's why, right there, baby. Whitebeard. Right there, baby. Luffy. That's why One Piece is closing in on your ass. You've had Superman and Batman comics, hundreds of people involved in those products, and already One Piece in 20 years has already passed Batman in terms of sales, and very soon I'm sure they'll be passing Superman. So that's why. So you're definitely not a comic book company anymore. But I don't know if David Zaslav, the new CEO, he's come in and he's definitely started shaking things up. I don't know if it's going to be an end to the bullshit woke focus. I don't know. But the dude hasn't done jack shit about Ezra Miller, who is a ticking time bomb if I've ever seen one. So, but that's, a little trickier than just flushing the drain with Batgirl, because they would have to spend an exorbitant amount of money with CGI to like replace his face. I don't know if you can, because, sometimes actors have contracts that they have to be on screen. Their face has to be actually on screen for X amount of time. I don't know. I'm not privy to those logistics. All I know is that DC had a very, very lackluster presentation at Comic-Con, and their future in terms of entertainment prospects are really up in the air. So unless it's something like Black Adam that's right there, don't get attached to any DC project, okay? Because you don't know what the hell's going to happen. And Zaslav, let me give you some advice. Let me give you some advice from your Elden Lord, Zaslav, okay? Get rid of all the dopes who are in your writing departments who worry more about the message and not putting quality writing and storytelling at the forefront. Reboot your cinematic universe completely. Even if you have to use Flashpoint for that, take it slow, take it easy. Follow the care and precision that the MCU once had with their products. Because I will say it, MCU phase 1 especially, phase 2, and even phase 3, they had they didn't start with a plan, but you could see once they had it where they were going. They're like, this is the buildup. Do that. You have iconic characters. You have incredible characters. Just take the time to focus on the foundation. And for God's sake, give Henry Cavill however much you need to bring him back as Superman, okay? Or that guy from the show. I don't fuck Tyler. I can't pronounce his last name. Hoechlin. I'm gonna butcher his name. I apologize. But because that guy, I've seen clips of him and he's good at it too. But make Superman a pivotal part of your universe. Don't kill him in your second fucking movie, okay? Which is what they did. Batman versus Superman, Man of Steel, first one, Superman versus Batman. Superman died. Dead. Second movie, it's just, dude, just copy the early 2000s Justice League cartoon, which was fucking amazing. Like, dude, that cartoon's worst episode is better than 90% of the DC cinematic universe. I still don't know how you can fuck it up when you have an amazing blueprint right there. Like, you have a blueprint that's like, it's so good. It's so good. If you have never seen the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited animated series, that is peak DC characters for me. I think that's the best I've ever seen. And when I say that I love like the 90s Spider-Man and the 90s X-Men, I do. I love them. But 90s Batman, 90s Superman, and then that led to the 2000s Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, top notch. I'm not saying that the X-Men and Spider-Man cartoons were bad, but even, and I'm a diehard Marvel fan, but no comparison. This was the peak. Come on. You got a fucking blueprint right there. Just follow it. Zaslav. That's me giving you some free Elden Lord advice. Okay? Next time I'll charge you. Next time I might have to charge your ass. And the last thing that I want to touch on is some more Rings of Power news, because you guys better believe that in the coming months, it's fucking a month away, that series is going to have a lot of focus from me on their own videos, episode reviews, breakdowns. But you know who isn't focusing on Rings of Power? Fucking Peter Jackson. You know Peter Jackson, right? You know Peter Jackson. You know, the guy who directed the incredible Lord of the Rings trilogy. And yes, I have my very, very real complaints on the Hobbit trilogy. But let's face it, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, that was a masterpiece, the trilogy. Okay, they are my favorite movies. I think they are the greatest movie trilogy that's ever been created. I maybe mentioned it before that I took my parents to go see that movie. Somebody just called me. I apologize. That took my parents to go see that movie, and usually my parents are like my dad especially. He'll fucking fall asleep. This was what, when they came out. My dad will fall asleep through a movie in the theater. Not these movies, man. My dad was riveted. He was like, oh shit. He didn't know the characters' names. He knew Frodo. He knew Mr. Frodo because Sam kept saying Mr. Frodo so much. So he knew it. But he was like with those movies. And, those films were a masterpiece. And wouldn't you believe that fucking Amazon asked him if he wanted to be involved and then never contacted him again. Okay, this is from The Hollywood Reporter. This isn't me just like I got a fucking line to Peter Jackson or something. This is from The Hollywood Reporter. Okay, this is the Oscar-winning director, reveals studio asked him to be involved with its upcoming mega budget series and then never contacted him again. They asked me if I wanted to be involved, and Fran Walsh and I said that an impossible question to ask without seeing a script. I love that he said that. So they said, as soon as we get the first couple of scripts, we'll send them to you. And the scripts never showed up. That's the last thing I heard, which is fine. No complaints at all. He's a nice man. They're idiots, but he's a nice man. In an upcoming podcast about 4 or 5 years ago, he phrases it slightly differently, but makes the same point. About 4 or 5 years ago, they asked if I would be interested in it. So I said, have you got the scripts yet? Because I know how hard the scripts were to write for the films. And I didn't know the people writing their scripts. They said, oh no, we haven't got the scripts yet. But as soon as we do, we'll send you the scripts. So I was waiting for the scripts to arrive. And they never did. They never did. Dude, just what? It just goes to show that these scumbags, these two arrogant idiots who are the head writers, J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay, they are so in over their heads, and they've been trying to backpedal, saying that, oh no, our show isn't going to be full of politics and us trying to alter the narrative, except interviews with the cast have shown otherwise. Their previous comments have shown otherwise. They've clearly multiple times have said that they are adapting Tolkien's work to reflect on our times. They've even gone as far as trying to weasel that these changes are okay to the lore because Tolkien didn't write that these events didn't happen. I can't fucking stand these two. That's like, let me explain to you. That's like me saying, like, did you know that Hermione takes a shit on Harry? Like, she literally shat on him. And you'd be like, what the fuck? No, that never happens in the books. And I'd be like, well, J.K. Rowling never wrote that it didn't happen. What? No, dude. What the fuck? Did you know that Ron's older brother used to beat all of them? He used to beat them, like slap them around. And you're like, no, dude, that didn't happen in the books. And I'm like, J.K. Rowling never wrote it. So, it must have happened one time. It must have happened. Dude, that's not how, so fucking stupid. That's not how adaptations work, man. You can't just be like, well, it didn't happen. It's like if making the argument of having Galadriel show up with machine guns and she mows them down, some orcs, and they're like, well, Tolkien never wrote that Galadriel didn't have an AK and, that she didn't kill him. It's so fucking stupid. It's such a stupid fucking thing to say. And I think the only people outside of like the media shills and the boneheaded actors who are, which I can't even begin to tell you how fucking dumb those people are, or the things that come out of their mouths are. Because I think the only two people that are happy about this upcoming project are Daniel Weiss and David Benioff, because they will very soon no longer be the biggest morons associated with Hollywood writing in the fantasy genre. Step aside, Dumb and Dumber. Okay, you have J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay ready to take up the throne of fuckery from you two, because that is what they are going to do with this work, with Rings of Power. They're going to fuck it up. And I got to show you I just want to end off on this. Let me show you this fucking thing that entertainment fucking, because these show sites, what they care about is early access. They care about early access right now, and they know that people are going to hate on this. They themselves probably know, man, this thing is going to be awful. But for now, we're getting people like Jose to click on it. So, they know that's what they're aiming for. They're getting their little click throughs, and then eventually, when this thing peters out and dies in the first season, they'll move on to the next project. But look at this fucking thing right here, okay? I want you to see this. What the fuck is this? This shit? This is how you're promoting? What the fuck is this? Why does she always look like she's like screaming or singing? What is this? Yo. And then that's supposed to be Sauron, apparently. That's supposed to be Sauron. Look at this last one. Oh, no. No. This is bad. This is real. This is your marketing. This is what you're spending. And they're spending so much money on this. They're spending so much money for people to just be making fun of it like me. And it just, when I saw that, it reminded me of, because, I'm old. I'm an old motherfucker. And I want to see if I can find it. Look at this right here, okay? Look at this intro. Some of you may be too young to remember this show called The Young and the Restless. It was like a soap opera. Look at this fucking... God damn it, man. It's so fucking bad. Hold on. Let me load it up here. Because this thing is ancient. All right. This is what that Rings of Power thing just reminded me of. You ready? Here we go. Look at this. What the what? It's the same fucking thing. It's the same fucking thing. Oh, no. This is I could put this side by side. This is the exact same fucking shit. They just ripped off The Young and the Restless. Dude, this fucking thing is going to be a disaster. Oh, it's going to be so bad. It's going to be so bad. This show will definitely be on that earlier graph that I talked about. Biblical levels of bad. Right up there. It may have its own fucking category. Okay? Because if Halo and Picard were garbage, if they were biblical levels of bad, I think Rings of Power might even top that. I truly do, especially with how much of an attachment I have to the Lord of the Rings works, to Tolkien's works. So, okay, let's end right there. This has been the TheNYCGeek, because I'm starting to get fucking mad, and it's too hot to be mad right now. Okay, if you enjoyed this content, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. Hit it right now. Okay, please hit it right now. Also, while you're at it, please consider hitting that like, that share button. Hit it, share it with people, because that really helps the channel out. It helps it grow. That freaking bell, hit that bell so you can know when another video goes live, and leave a comment down below. I love to engage and chat with everybody. I do my absolute best to respond to every single comment. And if you haven't already, please make sure to follow me over on twitch.tv/TheNYCGeek, where I stream regularly on Sundays, Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, as well as follow me on that filthy cesspool that is Twitter. Follow me. Please don't live your lives on Twitter. Twitter sucks. It's not a real place. It's garbage. But you can follow me there, and I'll, it does send out when I always use it to just send out, hey, I'm live. Or hey, I just posted up a video. That's the only thing that Twitter should ever be used for. If really and truly. Remember that your time is absolutely precious, truly. And I thank you for sharing it with me. Stay safe, take care of each other, and I will see you guys next time.